Okay, now this is what I'm talking about.
What? You this excited to be a mall cop?
Oh yeah, dude. Cool uniforms and a poster's right next to the burrito hut. Burrito hut! Time to go to work.
We're already there.
Huh?
What?
It's just a kid.
You surprised?
What, surprised that a little white kid in a dark costume with his head covered in a mask going on a killing spree targeted other maybe cooler than him kids, and possibly a girl he had feelings for? You know, now that I say it out loud, no, not really.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe we should take that trip to Montecito after all. Got really good burritos down there.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Monte Quinto.
You think?
Another shady side tragedy. Fits the narrative, right?
Sarah Fier's back. Christ, not you too.
There's no angry, dead witch. The only thing that made him go crazy is this town.
Netflix, baby, what is you doing, Netflix? How you gonna get a whole property and something that you could, this boggles my mind, something that you could spread out over a course of a couple of years. Netflix said, fuck, we changing the game. 3 weeks. You get 3 weeks. We throwing out the movie each week. Oh, the whole trilogy right there. Bam, bam, bam. That is the quickest I've ever watched a trilogy in my life that hasn't been out for like 5 years. Guys, I feel like this is gonna be an interesting conversation, but since I got multiple guests here, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't do this a lot. I get standard introduction. Sammy, ladies, yes, he has his shirt off. Sammy, Wakandan Prince Richards, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm happy to be here. How are you, sir?
Man, you know me. I'm beautiful sitting in my holy shirt, so you know what I mean. It's all good. God is with me. Anyway, Ishmael, Grumpy Face Walker.
You know I'm mad.
Why
you know
mad?
me. I was happy literally 2 seconds ago. Out the window.
What
It goes Ishwalker. Here again.
Ish, I wear a shirt,
Mumble.
Walker.
Yeah, right?
Ish, I'm professionally dressed, Walker.
Mr. Professional Walker. And here, again, to wonder why Trae has made me watch, yet again, another bad movie.
I was okay.
Why do you hate me?
I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think this is a bad movie.
Oh, can I, you know what? You are right. You are very right, actually. It's not a bad movie. I would say it's average. But I made the mistake of coming into the movie with just one expectation. Because it was called Fear Street. I was like, oh, it's a scary movie.
Okay, but see, hold on. Now, see, that's the thing. Horror movies haven't been like horror movies haven't scared me in a while, though. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't even the thing where I'd be like, this is a horror movie. Mm-hmm. The first movie was like, what are you guys even trying? What's your identity? What's the identity of this movie? The second movie, I was like, you guys are kind of getting into it. And the third one, I was like, oh, this is pretty all right. And then they went back to the first movie, and I was like, oh, we're back in the track again. Okay, all right.
So I'm going to take it that both of y'all watched the whole trilogy, right? Yeah. Because we're talking about the first movie, Fear Street, 1994. And of course, as I said before, Netflix just went wild and threw out the whole trilogy in 3 weeks. So there's gonna be a series. We're gonna talk about the first one, this one, and we're gonna do an episode subsequently talking about the sequel. Then of course the third one. Y'all have been to elementary school, so this is. I'm just gonna say it. I was like you, but then I got progressively into it as I watched the other two movies.
I wanted to see what happened. I did want to see what happened.
It in my opinion, it fleshed itself out, and it kind of like it paid off a lot of what it was trying to buy me in the first one. Now my thing I will say is that I don't know if that's a good method. Because say this had been released traditionally, where it's the first Fear Street movie, and then 2, 3, 5 years later we get Fear Street Part 2. You know, the stuff that they're trying to buy in the first movie, the goodwill they're trying to buy with the audience in the first movie, I don't know if that would have sustained itself.
No,
honestly, because by itself, it is kind of meh. It is a mid-tier movie. Yes.
Does it seem like this a made for Netflix movie? Like,
Yeah.
Lower quality, it's not something that might survive in theaters.
I think the plan for Netflix is to make theater quality movies straight to home. And you could see it even with this. It was quality wise. There were some quality scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Quality blood, quality camera work, and every quality audio. It's just execution wise, it was not there.
There's only really one part in this whole thing that kind of had me like head scratching, because I honestly like a lot of what they were building with the whole the Shady Side Sunnyvale type rivalry going on, that and gives us a sort of a buy-in for our underdog heroes here. And honestly, I liked everybody here, especially. Well, not especially, but what I was surprised, I liked, what's that boy? Is that the Josh? Is that the little
her little brother?
Her little brother. I was surprised. I liked him here.
He was trying. He was like, "Yo, we have to make money off. This is my career."
Well, see, I didn't like him. Y'all see that movie Rim of the World?
No.
Oh
no.
God,
Was it
it's
good?
bad. No, it's horrible.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna watch it.
No, please don't. It's a bad movie. He's in it and he's bad in it. All the little kids is bad in it. But I looked at this, I saw him, I was like, oh, it's one of Netflix's favorites. I liked him. I actually liked him in here. I was like, okay, he dope. So I like the actors and actresses in here. There was one thing that had my head scratching. Her two friends, the only two people that actually die in this movie, the three movies, not counting in the past.
Yeah, everybody died in the past.
They didn't have to die.
No. I didn't. I was so puzzled at this entire movie, just going like, why is any of this happening? And then the thing that you'll see later, you'll hear later, right? It like you said, it pays off later, way later, like hours later. like you're gonna have to wait like a day or two later in order to get it. But it does kind of sort of pay off. But if you're just watching this first movie, if you're just watching Fear Street 1994, you will be left halfway confused.
Yeah. So like, people, let me explain, because there's this whole thing where there are killers after our heroes, right? Because the killers are resurrected and possessed by an evil witch in the town, right? And they're after one of our main characters' blood, pretty much because her blood bled on the ground or whatever, and it causes the creatures to come after her, right? But only her. Like anybody else that gets killed kind of gets killed by accident, maybe.
Yeah. If you interfere, then you die.
Kind of, right? Yeah, right.
If you attack the killer, then you die. You have to die because the killer has to go through you to get to what they want to go to.
Not necessarily, because if you're the nurse, you could ask a question and then die. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess if you engage the killer,
I guess
if you just stay silent, because at the end they're just silent.
Yeah,
and it passes by.
Right.
And they do it multiple times in the movie.
Yeah, that becomes their bit, right? So So really, they're really like throwing her to the wolves. They really ain't have to throw her to the wolves and barricade themselves in the room. They could have just dipped at any time of this movie. At least four of them.
That one lady, the one friend she had, the pill
popper. Yeah,
the pill dealer. She was like, listen, y'all, I love you guys and everything. Like I like y'all, but they're just trying to kill her. Like we could just give her up and go. And I was like, oh, thank you. Something makes sense in this movie. Okay,
but like even more than that, what made me mad about her, made me mad about her in that scene where she was like, they're only trying to kill her. We should give them her. Or subsequently, you should just leave. They don't care about you. Like you could have walked out the room. Both of them could have walked out the room and left.
I do understand the rationale behind it.
You know what I mean?
They're scared. They didn't know. They just thought this guy's gonna kill everybody.
Okay, but see,
even though they're thinking it's just gonna be the one, they're like, hey, this person killed other people. We don't know if they're gonna come after us after. So like, they ain't just gonna run. It's still out there. They don't know what's happening.
They absolutely know that because it becomes a plot point in the third movie when they return back to trash. That's their whole plan. In fact,
confusing, man.
no.
It's
Let me tell you,
confusing.
they know that because they made the whole plan to make the blood markers to go into the bathroom to draw them all in
Yeah,
there. So they knew.
later.
No, that
this
wasn't
year.
later. That was in the first movie.
What?
Yeah, when they blew up the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they knew.
Yeah, they knew that they could just leave.
That's
They
like
had to help her.
that's like, but they didn't
Really
want
should have
to.
just been the sister and the brother. 'Cause
That's it. That's it.
Why would the other people be there?
If you're really not caring, then what? You really didn't have to die.
Yeah, you didn't have to be there at all.
Yeah. They're teenagers. They're dumb, man. What do you expect?
Honestly, yeah. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, this trilogy was actually books by R.L.STINE. I didn't know until like the second movie.
Yeah, yeah.
This was like pre-Goosebumps stuff. I think this was right before Goosebumps or something.
I think so. Yeah.
And so they kind of ramped up the violence a little bit. I don't know what it's rated R.
No, it's that.
PG-13.
Yeah, I think it's
That's
hold up.
VR. That's VR.
Yeah, right.
Let me
There's like
check.
cursing and stuff, right? And
That's
like
VR.
there's mad sexual. Yeah. Hell, hold on.
No, keep going. I'm gonna check the.
All right, but at any rate, they ramped up the violence a little bit. You know what I mean? Gore and everything. They tried to make it kind of scary, but that first
Yeah,
one
it's hard.
was just like they had points where it was like kind of comedy-ish, and like it felt like, and I'm gonna talk about like kind of broad for all three movies, but it kind of felt like they were taking the tropes of monster stories from that decade or era, and that's what's kind of like the movie. Like the first one was the Scream Killer, right? Mm-hmm. The second one was like Jason.
Yeah.
The third one was like I guess like The Village.
Okay.
Like
See,
any type of period piece kind of horror movie.
I get you. I put it more like this. Like I feel like the first one kind of felt like an Evil Deadish movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where your friends are like getting possessed.
It had that feeling. I didn't
Right.
like that.
The
'Cause it
second
didn't
one-
mesh with what they were doing.
The second one tried to feel definitely like a slasher, so like Jason. Definitely
Yeah.
got some Jason vibes. But then the third one tried to give like the Village. No, not the Village. The Witch. The Veach.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely
There's,
tried to feel like the
Blair
Veach.
Witch. Some type of any type of like witch.
No, like
horror
specifically that A24 movie. Have you not seen it? The Witch.
No, is it
There's a
good?
movie. Oh yeah, it's great.
Very good.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, that's on the list now.
It's definitely great. That's where Sam, what's her name? She played in Queen's
Big
Gambit.
eyes.
Huh?
Big eyes.
Yeah, Big Eyes. Ava Taylor Johnson. That ain't it. Let me just get that wrong real quick. Just say somebody else's whole ass other name.
Yeah.
You mean Bill Nye?
Yeah. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Man.
Talk to that Bill. Black Bill. I don't know. Sam, you've been a little bit quiet. What'd you think of this movie, man?
Man, Trae. It's been a while since I watched a horror movie. And it's hard to find a good one these days. And this is a Trae recommendation.
Okay, hold on. This was a Trae assignment. This wasn't no Trae recommendation.
It felt like a recommendation. But it didn't.
No, I knew it was.
Man, while watching it, especially for the first 15 to 30, I'm like, God damn, Trae, what the fuck, bro? What you got me watching, man? But I tried to, not be so taken aback and try to just embrace the movie as it was. I knew about this background, R.L.STINE, and kind of took it as like that sort of writing is kind of corny, made for kids. And these characters are teenagers, and I'm so annoyed at all of the teenagers and pretty much every character in this first movie. It seemed like everyone was an asshole for no reason. Like damn near. Yeah, it's just so moody. It felt like the town, like an It.
Yeah.
And but I was like, that's not the same rules here though. So why is everybody so wild?
Okay, so but it's funny you say that though. It's funny to say that it's like the town of It because, I mean, isn't Stephen King just like child? I mean, isn't R.L.STINE like child Stephen King? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a reason this feels so similar because he's just been.
M. Night Shyamalan is teenagers.
There's a lot of similarities, man. And this movie, like I said, I tried to take myself out of it, just watch what it was. So heavily tropey. There's nothing there that you haven't seen before. But one point where you're mentioning about those two friends and how they died, and how they didn't need to die. I really liked their deaths. Like overall,
cool.
the death scenes in this whole trilogy are amazing. Like the killings are great. They really leave the camera on it. You know, like, they don't stray away. Like there's some uncomfortable moments where I was like, oh shit, this is like nobody's about to save her. Like
when she's fighting the dude.
Because she was fighting for a while. I'm like, good for you. You are really fighting. All right, where's my man about to save you in a second? Oh no. Ooh.
I had the opposite reaction. I was sitting there like, she's gonna make it. Of course, but she's got to make it. She's fought so hard. She's almost won. Yeah, she has to make it. This isn't just a scary movie. Like they gotta all make it or something. She's not gonna just get. She's ham.
She's
ham.
She's shredded meat. Yes, that's
shredded meat.
God. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
It was a little different, really out of the norm than especially throughout the whole movie. I was just really looking for something different, but that was creative. I liked it. Yeah, go ahead, Trae.
Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna be mad honest here. Like, I will, like I said, I'm gonna give a shout out to some of the performances here because I honestly think they really did try to do a lot with a little. You know, some people I haven't seen at all, like Kiana Madeira, our main here for real. I don't know anything about her.
Can you start naming people so we can just talk about them from the show?
Yeah,
I have stuff for some of these people.
Kiana Madeira, who played Dina.
Dina was the main character?
That was our main character that we followed through not all three, through the first and the third movie.
Yeah. She's I hated her voice in the first movie.
Really?
I hated it so much.
You a hater.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I hate this. I liked parts of it, and then like she would talk, and I'd be like, "This is."
It's about to get canceled. That's all.
Why? No, I'm being serious.
I liked what she said things, but then she talked.
No.
Women need to be silent.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I don't mean it like that. Her like literal the sound of her voice. It felt like she was trying to like be Batman for the whole movie. Mad, unnecessarily.
I don't
moody.
understand that.
Her voice is sitting there. Her voice is like on a voice changer. So I'm not with it.
Exaggerating very hard.
You are really
not,
exaggerating.
By the end of the movie, her voice does change. She's talking clear, normal, and shit. In the beginning, super moody, super angsty for no reason. How you doing, Dina?
You might be alone on that one, brother.
I think so. All right, next Benjamin Flores Jr. as Josh, who I'd have to say I think looks mad younger than the rest of our crowd here to be doing the stuff that he's doing. Like, one, I thought he was in like middle school going to high school. No. Two, he out here getting the girl at the end. I was like, hold up, girl, don't you know that's statutory? Hold on. You catch charge like that. Oh wait, he's in high school? Okay, all right, well.
Wait, which girl did he get?
The one that got shredded.
Oh yeah. That was weird, right?
That was weird because he looked mad like young.
30. This was not a movie for me though. If you're over 25,
oh yeah, bro.
Not because again, these books were made for teenagers. So like don't come in it expecting gripping movie story. Like, no, you're gonna get teenager stories, which isn't bad. It's just not gonna be for you, probably. Like,
it's definitely weird with them like sexualizing these young characters too.
Yeah,
I was like,
because they're supposed to be like all underage, right?
Mm-hmm. They're in high school, so yeah, they're all underage.
It's a little weird, ain't it? Like, you gotta.
Well, that's the world that's literally the world we live in, man. With the CW and all the other shows on, like, you ever watch End of the Fucking World? You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
There's some mad sexual situations for these young people, and I'm like, this is weird.
Why adaptations?
Olivia Scott Welch as Samantha, Dina's love interest.
I liked their story and the parallels. If we're gonna skip a little bit, I know y'all, but I'm not gonna give away too much. But their story in this movie does, I guess, not parallel, but it's like that has similarities to Sarah's story. I was like, okay, that's cool. Once it got all the way around
Right.
to it, you know what I mean? That being said, Dina's voice just knew the shit out of me.
It's like, I gotta bring it back. I said too much good stuff.
Yeah, I did. I was praising the movie almost. Like, I can't do that.
I did like her performance. I feel like she's one of those actresses that as she's gonna continue going forward, because I saw her in the Amazon series Panic, which is based off of another book about these young kids going in like these dangerous games. It's a lot more. It's almost like one of those Japanese death game survival animes, but turned down to like 5. So not that exciting. But I like her performance in. I feel like she's gonna be the type of actress that in the future kind of looks like she's always on drugs. So I feel like she's gonna get typecast as always like the junkie. You know what I mean? The strung out, like, oh, you know, but I gotta get my life together. You know, I feel it. Like, even when she's well, she looks not well.
Hey, yo, hold on. Y'all blast me for this shit.
Oh no, Trae, it's been canceled Trae. Like this.
Oh, that's fair.
It's been hashtag cancel Trae. That's
No.
that is Did you? But no, then we have I don't even know if we need to go into these two because they literally died for no reason.
Oh, the dealers, the pill.
Yes, Julia Renwald and Fred Hinchinger.
That's a great death, though.
I hated his performance. He was so annoying.
Yeah. Hinchinger was mad
in this
annoying.
first. He was so annoying. And her, what was her name again?
Julia Renwald. Rehwald.
Julia Renwald was.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Say what? Say it again.
Huh?
Say it again.
Julia Renwald.
Yeah.
Was pretty good in this movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna say it was like an Oscar-worthy performance here, but it's like, all right, she did her. She's like one of the people. I was like, oh, she did her job. So, like, this is it.
Fair enough. I got nothing much to say about it, other than I agree with you that Hinchiger was mad annoying.
Cool. I mean, her death was cool. His death was kind of like,
it was just
really
like there.
Did he really have to die? Like, he just look at each other. I was like, all right, well, this is unnecessary.
That was more anticlimactic.
Come on now.
We had, are you serious? Ashley Zuckerman as Nick Good, as the sheriff.
Oh.
Yeah.
He had an easy role. You know?
Yeah.
He didn't do much.
He did. Not for this first one, though. Not for this first one. When we get to the other ones, we'll probably talk a little bit more about him. Gonna skip them. I think who I am interested in, Jillian Jacobs as C. Berman. Well, she wasn't in here that much. We'll talk about
Britta?
Yeah, we'll talk about Britta later on.
That's the next movie.
That's third movie. She'll get to play the like third movie for real.
She was there. Remember the whole second movie was about her. I mean, she wasn't in it, right? Yeah, she was in it. Yeah, that's right. She was in the movie, but she wasn't in the movie.
So that's pretty much all of our principal cast. Like I said, and honestly, a lot of they were good, you know what I mean, or at least they kept our interest while they were on screen. Oh, and the brother, but we'll talk about him third movie too. We'll talk about him.
Her brother.
No, not her brother. The brother. The only other brother in this movie. The actual
he's
brother.
the best character in the damn movie.
He is. He really is.
In the first movie, you're like, oh yes, at least this dude's here. He's painting. Then he has to go. He just dipped. He's like, that actually makes sense. Why would they be hanging around him? Then the last movie, I'm like, who's he gonna call? And then he calls him. I totally forgot the dude existed. Because again, y'all, in between him being on the screen, it's like 4 hours. All right, so it's a very long time.
Yes.
If you're splitting this up during like days and everything, it's a very long time. I'm like, who's he gonna call? And he called him. I was like, yes, and he was great. It's the best motherfucker in the whole movie.
So look, I don't have anything else to say. Like, well, like I don't really think anything cinematography wise stood out to me. Like I said, it looks like a good movie just on Netflix. So I'm just gonna give my wrap up here right now, and I'm gonna talk to Leigh Janiak, our director here. Look here. I feel like this ain't your fault. You made a decent movie.
Yeah.
I feel like this is Netflix's fault for trying to put all of these out in 1 week, but also you and somebody else came up with the screenplay. Phil Grazaday. I'd have fucked up your name, but you fucked up the movie. Look, look here now. All right, if this movie was by itself, like, I don't think this would stand up to the times. I really don't think it would, and especially if it was like if the other ones had to be released any later. And honestly, looking at the screenplay, probably what prompted them to be like, hey, we're gonna churn these out one after another, you know, and that whole promise of putting out a movie every week. I think you made a decent movie. I think there are a few plot holes that just, like, if I rewatch this, are just gonna stick in my mind. But I do think a lot of things in here are decent. Cinematography wise, you know what you're doing. Like, you have it, or at least you know how to tell somebody what to do.
The look was there.
Right. The look was there. I think the sound design was there. So honestly, all I have to say for this is I think it's a B movie. I really do. I'm gonna give it a B. I am going to give it a B. I mean, I liked a lot of it. I only had one little problem with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really, you know, and the problem I have is big enough for me not to give it like an A or something like that. But I think a straight middle of the road B is fair for what this movie is. I don't know. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Yeah. Oh, man. A lot of points I agree with you on, Trae. The look was up to par. Sound was great. I really enjoyed the supernatural story to it. Meaning, like, you know, I love all the supernatural stuff like that. But, you know, the witch's story and its effect on the town and how it had this, like, minions. Like, it was something new that I haven't seen before, and I thought it was creative. And the end, how that wrapped up, it was a nice little twist. I wasn't really looking for a twist, so actually, yeah, it caught me by surprise. I was like, oh, all right. I see you're not like just, you know, just run of the mill horror movie. It has some thought behind it. So, yeah, great killing scenes. They really took notes from all these popular horror movie franchises and just like, hey, here we go, let's do it, and it worked.
It's real distracting that your shoulder muscle is winking at me. That's all I'm gonna say. Please continue.
Oh wow. Let's say, yeah, man. It's not for me, but I could see how it could be like a good movie for the younger folks.
Oh yeah, the CW crowd gonna love this.
Yeah, and it was graphic as hell. Acting was okay. And introducing to some new actors and actresses, so I thought pretty much most of them did a pretty good job. So I'll probably give this a B-. Trae, I'm right there with you.
Right there with me. See that? I'm not insane. All right, Ish. All right, stop. Get the look off your face. Tell us what you thought.
This first movie, the first 94?
94, bro. That's what...
94 was gonna get a D- from me until the very end, when I was like, oh, at least something kind of happened. Like, I mean, the very with the twist, I was like, oh, well, okay, C-. I don't think that settings wise, and this is weird because the other two movies I thought were a little better. I thought the series got progressively better. And that first movie though, if you don't like it, it's gonna really take you out of it. And I really didn't like it. It felt weirdly forced, I guess. I know I was only like 2 years old, but I've been having the 90s pushed into my head for like a couple decades now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It didn't feel like it. It felt off. I didn't live through the 80s. I only seen the 80s through TV, and I definitely didn't live in 1666. So I've only seen that in like history and TV. So those two, right. I was like, I could kind of see this. You know what I mean? But for the 94 one, I was like, this is off. This is weird. That being said, they had a lot of ideas that they did that I really liked. I did kind of like tying in whatever the big horror franchise kind of was during that decade or whatever into being the killer. I don't know if that was in the book or not, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
well, I don't think this is actually based off of any one book. I think this is it's
a series, the whole thing, I thought.
No, the whole thing is like a series. Yeah, but it's not. These aren't based on any one book. It's based off the entire, sort of like taken from not really adapted from, but like it's under the umbrella of the Fear Street series. Yeah.
Either way, the way they were like, it's 94, so Scream's the killer. It's 80, whatever. I like that. I liked Scream being the killer in the first one. It was pretty cool. It was whatever. Once I figured out, like, oh, hey, actually, that's a pretty cool connection. But I didn't like. There was too many things to just not like, man. I didn't like some of the characters. I thought some of the plot points were kind of, as a whole, maybe were kind of good enough, but just for this first movie, just leaves you stranded. I think a lot of things just kind of leave you stranded. And you do kind of want to see the second movie, but not really. I almost didn't watch number 2.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fair. That's always fair.
I was not happy.
Look, I can't say that if it wasn't. I see the face.
Whole time.
Oh God, that had to hurt. Like, I'm pretty sure you gotta flex.
I'm hurt now.
Well, Jesus. All right, people. So you know what we thought. Let's see what the people thought. So this, of course, being on Netflix, I don't really have a budget or box office for it because it didn't show up in the box office. So we're gonna go straight to Rotten Tomatoes with a tomato meter of 83% and an audience score of 65%. This is real surprising. The critics
D-.
The critics are liking this more than the general audience is.
Is that for the whole trilogy, Trae?
That's just for this one.
This is the first one.
Oh, first one? Okay.
That actually makes sense to me, though.
Really? Why?
Because this seems like a good critics movie.
Really?
Why wouldn't? I mean, you're talking about who do critics like work for? Like you're talking about money people watching a movie made by money people. Like it felt like that was going to be in their realm. Like, oh, I can show this. Maybe I can show this to my 17-year-old or something like that. Like that doesn't surprise me. The audience not liking it, also doesn't surprise me because.
Really? Because I feel like this is like right up the audience's alley right here. Like when we talking about like Sam like talking about the young people gonna like this. Like I like you got young people doing like young people stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's pretty much our general audience right here. Like that's who I feel like should have been. You know, and this is of course the aggregator, so we know. You know, they probably don't take the time out to go put their audience score. They're on the TikToks and stuff like that, whatever. But I'm surprised that more critics came out and decided to give this a decent or reasonable score. Yeah, a push. Yeah. Because this really to me doesn't seem like a critic darling. Let's say this isn't like your critic darling horror film, especially when we've had films come out like what's it called, the Light Tower, Hereditary, Midsommar, things like that. Like this is getting, and I'm not saying that they're saying that this is on the same level, but when you talk to me like critic darling horror films, I thought we set the bar with those. So anything that isn't those would get mad less, especially one that just kind of feels like you said, like an homage to like other horror movies that's come out in the past, and not even like a clever one.
Say that you see you're giving it too much credit because you said homage, and that's like a good word. I'll use like generic. Actually, that's it. Generic.
Generic. Okay, we're just gonna stop right there.
Like there's Cheetos, and then there's Sam's Club Cheese Puffs. Like this was definitely Sam's Club Cheese Puffs.
Right.
And like sometimes the generic brand is pretty good.
It do have more flavors and it's bad for you. Yeah.
All right. The other two movies were okay. Kind of. But this one was definitely not. This was the worst fruit snacks that was not named Welch's I've ever had.
He's all over the board, people. This is how angry he is. He's mixing his metaphors.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, babe. Well, let us know what you thought.
That metaphor made about as much sense as the movie. So there you go. At least the first one.
And he brings it around full circle. People, tell us what you thought down in the comments. Let us know. We'll see you next time.
We're together for one night and dead people are trying to kill us. Maybe we are doomed.
She was so sexy, but so crazy.
Normal bitches don't bleed black blood.
Thank you for listening to another Movie Club podcast. Production 1200's premier podcast. If you have suggestions for movies you want us to see, leave them in the comments below. Check out the short films we have on the page and look forward to what we're making next. If you want more from us or other ways to reach us, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all Production 1200. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rate and review. Trust me, it's what your grandma would have wanted. And if you listen to us on other podcast platforms, do the same if you're able to do those things. It's Trae Price signing off. Hear you next time.